Welcome to chapter 8. This is an important one. This is one that I seriously work on a lot. So, let's get into it. Chapter 8, working with probabilities. All right, chapter 8 is where Mark Douglas truly drives home the core pillars of consistent trading, thinking and probabilities. A professional trader does not approach the market trying to predict every move. I know there's a ton of live streams out there where guys are doing this. They're trying to predict every move, and a lot of times they can be right, and a lot of times they can be wrong. But a real professional trader is going to come to the market with a defined edge, and they are going to simply execute their edge, knowing that outcomes are random. All right, here's the kicker: random on a trade by trade basis. Okay. When you get hung up on one trade or even like a small sample of trades, you're not thinking in terms of probabilities. Okay. Because on a trade by trade basis, but predictable over a large sample size. All right. A casino, there's a reason why they treat you the way they do when you walk in the door, especially, if like you're on a win streak. They'll give you free food, free drinks, they'll let you go to the high rollers table, right? Because they know if they can keep your butt in that chair long enough, they're going to get their money back. Because over large sample size, they win. Okay. So Douglas compares trading to a casino. Imagine that. While individual gamblers may win or lose randomly, the casino is always profitable because it has a statistical edge and applies it consistently. Like I just said, really. Traders must adapt this same mindset, focusing on the process and probabilities and not individual outcomes. I still say it to this day, and I've had people say it to me. Today was good. Why? Because we had some winners. Okay. The next day, today was kind of a rough day because I took some L's. Well, if you actually implemented the same process, right, on both days, the answer should have been the same. How was your day? With the win day, oh, it was fine. I implemented my edge and it did well. Next day, oh, how was your day? Well, it was fine. I implemented my edge and it took some L's. I know that's hard to do, but that's what we're supposed to do, right? That's how the casino thinks, right? If you'd ask the casino the same question, they're like, "What are you talking about?" Well, how was your day? It's fine. Okay. Did you win or lose today? I don't know. We just have our edge out there playing on the floor. We know we're going to win long term. Seriously, think about that. All right. Okay. So, not individual outcomes. A lot of people need to work on this, and I am looking. I need my mirror up over here. I got to move my hand where I can see it. There it is. Wow, way over here. I was like over here. I need my mirror up, right? So I need to do this myself as well. Okay, so key themes and concepts. Trading is a probability game, okay? You are gambling, guys. You have to understand this, all right? But when you're just sitting down like Mickey Mays and you're just playing your game, playing your edge, playing your edge, playing your edge, sitting there with your little hat kind of covering your eyes, over there real quiet like, you're not making a scene, and you're just like, I got my statistical edge. I know what to do. Game of Baccarat. I'm playing blackjack. I need 18.55 to win. Blah blah blah. This is all I need. All right, that's a bust. That's a lose. That's a draw. That's this. That's a split. I'm just playing my edge. It's boring. That's how he wins. Okay, I've actually been studying the man because of it. Right? He's been banned from Vegas almost completely because he just goes in and plays these statistical edges, and that's it, and he wins. All right, same thing. It is the same concept. All right, each trade has an uncertain outcome, even if your analysis is perfect. This is a huge phrase, okay? Because I feel offended when I do my due diligence in my absolute best TA, and the market just says nope, bye, going in the other direction, and it's like everything was there telling me no, it wasn't telling you anything. What it was telling you is the market conditions currently are here and you see them and they match your edge and you say, in these conditions, my edge should play out more often than not. But there's still the not quite a bit. Okay. So you have to be good with that. All right. A single trade means nothing. What matters is long term performance of your edge. When people come to me with like a few days or a week, sample size, I'm like, that's not enough. You need something much bigger, right? And in my opinion, you need to journal your actual edge, right? These are the trades. If I took 100 trades and these 75 trades over here are my edge and these 25 over here are me being foolish, revenge, FOMO, whatever, random, bored, whatever kind of trades they are, I need to remove this from my data and take a look at what does my edge actually do. And number one, can I define my edge? As mechanically as possible. I know there's a lot of intuition that goes into the market and there's a lot of discretion. Nothing wrong with that. But can I, for the most part, define my edge mechanically, right? And do I follow that? That's the thing. Because I think a lot of us, and this is me included sometimes, like I have a very simple trading strategy. It's out there in the world. I have videos on it. It's kind of dumb simple. It does involve some intuition and discretion, but it's super simple. And over long-term performance, it plays out. It has its slumps, and when I have a slump, sometimes I will kind of start looking at my trades, and I'll start going back and looking at them, being like, is the slump because of me? Right? Is my trading strategy having a little bit of slump, and then I throw a few bad trades on me because I'm in the slump and I'm unhappy about it? That can really skew your data and where you're at. And I think a lot of people, that's what happens. And then I'm going to find a different edge. I'm just going to, this is not the system for me. Right. And they don't even give it long enough. Okay. So you need that large sample size. And in doing that, even if you don't have a strategy that's all that great, and let's just say it's not that profitable, the fact that you'll play that out to find out is you are creating an amazing like discipline within yourself. And then once you do find an edge that clicks well and that you identify well in the market and you can execute, you're going to have that discipline to back up that edge and you're going to be a monster. You are going to be a monster. So take the time to find an edge, define it clearly, and then play it out. Okay, it may take 3 months. That's not fun, especially if you figure out like this edge isn't that great. This guy on YouTube had it, and it says it works for him. It doesn't work for me, whatever. Right? So the market doesn't reward certainty, but consistency and execution. Okay, you can't stack confirmations to make your trades better. Okay, I know that I'm going to get a lot of pushback on that. But I'm just telling you, I've worked on some algorithmic teams and I led an algorithmic team. That's just not how it works. That's just not it. Like you just define your edge very, very, very simply and you follow it. Okay. And if you guys haven't seen my 50 trade orb challenge video, go watch it. You can do it for free. You can download the document, go do it on your own. You don't have to pay and do it with us. You can if you want. We do have a VIP. Well, we will actually do it with you. But I wanted to make sure that, money doesn't stop people, right? So you can go do it for free. And I challenge you to do it because it is like the dumbest strategy you've ever seen in your life. And I have a guy who's doing it and he's green on his account. Now, that could change because it's a dumb strategy. But the strategy is designed to teach you, like, the discipline it takes. And it removes everything except for the mechanical movement. There's very, 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 very little to zero discretion in there. There might be, a few that you might have to like make a decision, but other than that, it's pretty dumb. And I designed it that way, and it seems to be profitable. I didn't even mean it to be profitable. I meant it to be dumb for training, kind of break even for training. But it just seems to be as it gets played out, it's not a banger of a strategy. Don't get all excited, but get excited for what it can do for you inside of you as far as like your discipline and the way in your mindset. Like I did this a while back. It was a little bit different. And then I built this one based off of, all the studies and things that I've been doing. And then I was like, I got to implement this. And I've been trading it. And it's like, it's crazy how it's changing my mindset. And I was already for a lot of this stuff. I already believed in a lot of this, but now that I'm forcing myself to live it out, it's exposing things, in me as a trader that it's going to help me in the long run and it's going to be worth the investment. Okay. So let's keep going. The casino mindset. Casinos make money by allowing players to win and lose randomly, but over time, the house edge prevails. There's reasons why they have their edge and their rules defined, right? The rules are defined in a way that they make money, guys. And it might just be 51% of the time or 52 or 53% of the time they're going to win. But that's all they need. Because over a long period of time, you talk about 1 to 3% of millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a day. These casinos bankroll. All right. I've been studying casinos. It's kind of crazy, man. They do some crazy stuff. Dude, they're cheaters too, bro. All right. I said it. I said it out loud. I'm not the only one who said it, but you gotta watch out, man, because sometimes they will cheat code you. So just stay away from casinos. Day trading is casino enough, trust me. All right. Similarity, traders must accept random short-term results and focus on executing their edge over many trades. So you must accept the random short-term results. So losing slump. All right. I know a guy, he's a 7-figure trader and he's been in a slump. And it's like, I talked to him about it and he's like, "No, man, I'm good." I'm like, "It's been like 4 weeks, 5 weeks." He's like, "I know, but it's okay. I've been here before. It's good." He's not really shaken to the core. He's had like 4 or 5 weeks of, losing, not every single day, but overall red. And he's like, whatever. It's like, I need to take that in because I have a problem with losing. So that's something I'm working on. So your job is not to win every trade or, like the mindset is, right? Because I've worked with hundreds of people, guys, seriously. The mindset is if I can find an edge, let's just say smart money concepts. Let's just take that. I know that's a broad term, but let's just say I grab a smart money concept, day trading strategy. And I'm like, cool. Guy on YouTube says it's good. And let's say it is good. Let's actually say it's legit. And you grab that strategy, you take it to the market, and let's say it wins 56% of the time at a 1 to 1.5. It doesn't sound great, but that's profitable. Okay. So what do people do? They go, how can I eliminate the losers? And so they go and they take the strategy, they look at the losers, and they're like, oh, if I'd only done this. Oh, if I'd only done that. Oh, if I'd only done this. And what ends up happening, and I'm telling you, I've done this algorithmically and like, real traders. They end up losing some of the winners. So they're just giving and taking. And the confirmations just make things more confusing and it makes the edge more difficult to implement. And then therefore, the flaws start coming from the trader because it's not simple. And then the data just gets all kinds of like skewed and messed up and whatever. I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand in myself and in a team. We had a team of like 18 people at one point working together on this kind of stuff. And that's exactly what happened. All right. It was the dumb strategies that would be profitable. It was the dumb ones, the easy ones, the ones with like 3 confirmations or something. All right. I'm going to read it again. Your job is not to win every trade, but to ensure that your rules are followed and the losses are controlled. All right. Actually, I don't know if I read that for the first time, but I'm going to read that one more time. Seriously. Your job is not to win every trade, but to ensure that rules are followed and losses are controlled. This is so important. This right here. Okay. I just told you about my 7-figure trader friend, who makes millions of dollars. I'm a little jelly sometimes over it, but whatever. I'm profitable and I've come out of a rut. And that's fantastic. So, I'm on my way. let's go. No. Um, Losses are controlled during these times. Okay, I've talked to more than one seven-figure trader about this kind of stuff, and their answer is that a lot of times there's like 2 or 3 months that are just like ridiculous. They bankroll, and then they have some green months that are normal, right? And then the rest of the time, right? So the other 6 months out of the year, we'll say, and this has been across multiple conversations, they just work on risk management because those are the losing months, and some of those months can be rather harsh. And if they allow themselves to go on tilt, they can double or triple the losses, which can eat into that, first couple of banger months, and you give it back. All right. You got to control the losses. That's where the mechanical part of your strategy can help you, because as you start to feel the pressure of your strategy losing, right, and you're on a losing streak and you're under that pressure and you're fighting not to fight back and revenge trade and FOMO trade and all kinds of stuff, or switch strategies and things, you can just focus on the mechanical, keep the losses under control. That orb strategy I was telling you guys about, the 50 trade orb challenge, I was back testing that, and I mean, it closes like 34% win rate. So let me tell you, it's not great, but it's profitable. All right. It's weird. I did 181 back tests, and I was extremely strict mechanically. And the weird thing is I would like, I would have my screen set up. I would have two charts, and I'm going back and forth because I'm double checking, trying to make sure everything is actually accurate. And mainly because I didn't believe in the strategy in a sense. I just thought it was kind of break even, which was great for training, but it was telling me it was profitable. So I'm like, no, I'm going to break you. Anyway, so mechanically, I made sure everything was good. And I would like go on these streaks for like 2 weeks where I'm just like, play it forward in FX replay, take the trade, do this, do that, manage it, go, 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 go. And I was like 2.5 weeks, and I'm like, it's like I am emotionally worn out, man. Like, I am not used to taking this many losses on a chart. Like, it was affecting me, even though it was just back test. I was like, dude, I'm like a 50%, 60% win rate, with like a 1 to 2 or more. I'm used to winning. And I was just like almost out of breath. I'm like, this is crazy. And I look down, I'm $1,000 up. I actually had to go back into the trade journal and be like, there's no way. And I went back and it was up. I'm like, okay, all right. It's not about your win rate, which I understood that. I understand these things, but sometimes I'm still surprised on stuff, and that one surprised me. So if you want to go look at it, go look at the video. There's a free document. You can check it out. It's stupid. It's stupid easy. Okay, detaching from individual trades. Most traders focus too much on the outcome of the next day, previous day, creating fear and hesitation. Okay, so if you have a mechanical strategy as close as possible, and you see your setup, you should just click it and go, and just know that you're throwing dice. Be okay with losing, be okay with winning. And I actually visualize the win, visualize the loss. That's something I still do because I just don't care, right? I'm really adopting that like stoic, like the stoic trader who's just like, hey, I won one. Hey, I lost one. Cool. Like that's really what I'm working on. Well, we'll never get rid of our emotion, but I can definitely work on how I react to my emotion. Because I still might be like, oh, I just took a loss. Doesn't mean I have to go click the button and try to revenge trade. Just means I deal with the emotion. Cool. I write it down. I lost. Oh well, move on. Okay, so detaching from individual trades. This stuff is serious. I'm telling you, it's a big deal. All right. Most traders focus too much on the outcome of the next trade, creating fear and hesitation. Professionals know that any trade could be a loser, but this doesn't affect their confidence because they trust the law of large numbers. You got to put it back in your mind, right? I need to believe in my strategy over time. That's the only time that I care to backtest. I'm not a big backtest guy. I know I did for this orb thing. Other than that, I actually think it's been like a little like either 2 years or a little over 2 years since I've back tested anything, because I literally just play my strategy out. That's it. So back testing is not a thing for me, but um, that's the only time it is worth it. Because if you're still searching for a strategy, you should go back test it and put yourself into as much forward testing, back testing like FX replay as you can. Because a lot of times, of course, I can close 100% post trade, right? Like post day. I'm intraday trading. I can be 100% closer if you let me do it at the end of the day, right? So you got to be careful how you back test. You need to back test with like removing some of the bars and looking at it and being like, what kind of decision would I actually have made here? Do I truly see my setup, or do I only see it because the candles played out and showed me? You know what I'm saying? Um, so all right, so let's get into the 5 fundamental truths of trading. Here we go. Douglas introduces 5 truths that form the foundation of probabilistic thinking. I'm getting much better at that word. Check it out. Edumacated. Anything can happen. Legit. Something could happen. A tweet could go, and then the market's just, and you can't be like, oh, how could I have avoided that? No, you couldn't have. It's okay. You could avoid a ginormous loss by having a stop loss, things like that. That you can avoid, right? As soon as I enter a trade, I already 100% know where my take profit in TP is. 100%. I don't enter trades randomly and then go, oh, where do I think it's going? No, because it may not go far, and I may be risking 300 to make 100, and I'm not okay with that. All right. You don't need to know what's going to happen next to make money. I know that's crazy. You're identifying market conditions, and you're like, look, we've swept. We've done this. Now we're doing this. That's my edge defined right there. So in this market condition, I can throw the dice, and probabilistically speaking, I should be a winner in the long term. All right. There is a random distribution between wins and losses at any given set variables that define an edge. Okay. If you go to winrate.com and you type in your win rate and you type in your 1 to 2, 1 to 3, kind of whatever you average, you should have an idea of these numbers. They don't have to be perfect. And then you can go and look at your win and loss streaks. That's what I like to do. I scroll through and I'm like, whoa, I could take like 11 losses with this bad boy. Ouch. One, that helps define my drawdown, right? How much I'm going to risk. And then it also defines what I need to be prepared for mentally. Because if I go on a 9 loss streak, is that a part of my edge, or is something else going on? Am I starting to FOMO and revenge trade and now I've got 13, 14, 15 losses when it was only supposed to be 9? All right. That's the kind of stuff we all need to work on. And I have to watch myself very closely with this because I am a revenge ninja. I got good at it at one point. I think if I could be completely stoic in the markets, I could revenge trade and like make crazy money, but that's not how it works. Very bad habit, so I stopped doing it 100%. Well, I try. You understand. I 100% work to not do it. That's a better way to say it. All right. An edge is nothing more than a higher probability of one thing happening over another, even if it's just a few percent, okay? It doesn't take much. All right, and that includes everything, fees and everything. If you've got a 1-to-1 at 51%, you're probably going to get wrecked, right? Because you got fees, you got slippage, you got things like that. Okay, every moment in the market is unique. Know that the market does create patterns, and things happen at patterns because traders trade at patterns or with patterns or whatever, right? They do. The masses make decisions at certain kinds of patterns. All right, but every day and every approach is unique. Okay. All right. Confidence without certainty. True confidence in trading comes from knowing that you can follow your plan, not from being certain about market direction. Losing trades are not failures, but a part of a natural distribution of outcomes. You have to lose to win in this game. All right. If I went and told Mickey Mays, like, hey, I want you to go in this casino, and I was told that you can win 90% at this game. Now go make it happen. Here's how you do. He's gonna laugh at me. He's gonna be, especially when I told him 100%. He's like, no, dude, you have to take losses. It's impossible not to, right? So just, like process these things. So why do we take it so hard when we lose? That's what you got to dig into. That's what you have to find. Is your ego being bruised? You did your TA, you feel like, you should have been able to see the loss coming and dodge it. Like figure it out. Figure out what's going on. All right, practical lessons. I'm getting a little long-winded here, but I'm telling you, this is good stuff, okay? And it's not just coming from me. These are things I've studied and learned and that I'm implementing and that I am seeing changes that actually work. That's why I'm pushing for it. Okay. Think in series, not singles. Evaluate your results over 20, 30 trades, not one trade. Okay. Accept randomness. This one's huge. Remember, it's all unique. It's a fresh day every day. You have no idea. Okay. Each trade is independent of the last. There is no way to force an outcome. All right. Stop predicting, start executing. Your job is to execute your edge, not be a fortune teller. Just remember, it's okay. You need to have an idea where your stop loss is, your take profit, and your entry, right? And based on your edge, yes. And then you click the button and then you go, hey, I wonder what's going to happen. And then be okay with a loss or a win, okay? Embrace the 5 fundamental truths. These truths free you from the emotional highs and lows of individual trades, all right? It takes time, but you can do it, okay? I know you, if I can do it, I'm an emotional trader, guys. I've told you. I have high emotions. I even have PTSD from the market. I did. And then like I feel, and I have a huge ego in this market too. I don't know why, but it's there. And you can be free from it, because if I can be free from it, so can you. I'm telling you. All right. Now I have to keep it under control. It wants to sneak back in, my human nature, but I'm telling you, it's amazing to just sit there and execute and not worry so much. All right. Reflection questions. Do I truly accept anything can happen in the market? How often do I get frustrated by a single losing trade, forgetting the bigger picture? Okay. These are questions you need to ask yourself, right? Do I approach trading like a casino, focused on probabilities, or like a gambler, hoping to win each trade? If you have high hopes for every trade, that's you're the kind of person the casino wants. Okay. They don't want Mickey Mays in there who's like, I don't even care if I win or lose. I just know how to play the game. Okay. Have I memorized and internalized the 5 fundamental truths of trading? All right. They take time. It is an investment, but it's worth it. So here's some action steps. And we're going to close with action steps here. 5 truths drill. Write down the 5 fundamental truths on a sticky note or notepad and read them before each session. 20 trade probability exercise. Hey, I say go to that 50 orb challenge. Okay, I'm telling you, it'll change your life. All right. Anyway, but here's a small version of it. Take 20 trades using your edge, analyzing the overall outcome, not single trades. Okay, track your emotions. How do you feel after winning and after losing? I didn't put winning in here, but it is important. After winning and losing, because sometimes people win and they're like, oh yeah, look at me go. Oh, let me get another win, and they like get so hungry for another win that they will find another trade. Okay, and they'll talk themselves into another trade. Let's see, some affirmations here. Okay, sorry, casino. Yeah, casino visualization. I don't want to skip that. Visualize yourself at the house in a casino and ask, am I letting probabilities play out, or am I betting emotionally like a gambler? All right. I have to be real with this one sometimes, for sure. All right. I am known to YOLO, because YOLO don't care. Like, I can just go get another funded account. It's a good thing that I can say that to myself. Like, that's no big deal. I lost my funded. Who cares? I'll just get another one. Like, but it's not okay to think like that, right? It is not okay to 10x a trade. Instead of risking 400, I'm risking 4,000, and I'm known to do it. Okay. So, and it has been a while, knock on wood, right? It has been a while, but yeah, I do have to watch this because I have a very high tolerance for risk. I've shared before, I'm a surfer, inline skater, motorcycle. I don't ride motorcycles anymore, but I did. So I had an adrenaline problem. So if I just jump on that adrenaline train in the market, I'm good to go, man. I'm ready. Okay. So my edge gives me a statistical advantage. I do not need to know the outcome of any single trade. You really should be able to put on a trade and walk away. Um, I know that I love trade management, so I love to sit there and watch trades play out and, whatever, right? I enjoy that so much. So I like to watch them play out. But you need to be able to watch them play out and be okay. And the 50 orb trade challenge, I've literally watched them to go to 2.8 R and then turn around and hit my stop loss. That's a part of the training. Now you'll probably never go look at it, but I promise you if you do, it'll change you for the better. Okay, chapter 8, takeaway quote. The best traders have no expectations on a trade by trade basis. They just know their edge will play out over time. And guys, if you're not comfortable with your edge and and you're not sure and you don't know that your edge will play out, then that's number one problem. Okay? Do your best to strip it down mechanically and simple and go back and test it. Okay? And then get to the point where you're at least like, oh, if I play this edge, I should make money. At least get to that point, right? And if not, I mean, I do have some videos. The problem with some of my trading styles, there is a lot of discretion that goes into it. I'm paying attention to a lot of different things, but you can go look at them. They're very simple. I would say easier to implement than most. And so yeah, remember that there are no expectations trade by trade. Okay, so if you're on a 3 trade loss streak, that should be nothing to you, right? Every even like a 70-80% win rate strategy, which is in my opinion a little high, that right there is 3-4 win loss. It shouldn't even shake you at all, and I'm not saying it wouldn't shake me, but it shouldn't shake us. So I really hope this has been helpful. You guys can there's some links down below. You can come into our community for free and we can DM and chit chat. That's always fun. I enjoy that. I have some material in there that can help guide you and teach you, stuff like this. And then we do have a VIP section where we'll actually do the 50 trade orb challenge with you, and you can come live trade it with us during the New York session. And it's really just a positive environment to help like expose yourself as a trader on what's really going on inside of you and inside of your mind. And you take the challenge and we'll talk with you and walk through, and yeah, it's good stuff. So anyways, share this video out to people that it can help, and I will see you in the next one.